Hey guys, I want to give a quick shout out to the new sponsor, Dueling Guard. They have great mats, deck boxes, sleeves, everything you can think of for TCG apparel. Check them out in the description box down below and use code SAKO for 5% off. Hey guys, what's going on? Lucas Sacco here today. I have with us a new sort of deck. It is the White Forest Runic deck. I went ahead and asked you guys what you guys wanted to see. You guys said Memento first, so that's what went up yesterday, and then today we have the White Forest deck. So I'm going to show you guys some of the basic combos, how you can play this deck. It is a little bit different than most of the decks I show on the channel, to where this is more of like you want to try to picture the end board you're going for and then use your cards to get there kind of deck, instead of like, oh, you have these two cards, let's get there. But we're going to go ahead and start off right with the video. We're going to start off this combo with normal summoning the Sylvie and adding the Woes to our hand. This runic tip here, it could technically be any runic card. I just use it like it's any runic card. I don't use it to search or anything, just so you guys can get the purpose of the deck. But here we're going to activate our runic card to summon. We're going to summon out Hugin, use Hugin to then discard the Woes, which is going to add us a Fountain. Since Woes was discarded to activate a card or effect, it's going to actually set itself back on the field, which is really good for us. That's going to keep our momentum going and keep cards on our side of the field and in our hand. We're now going to synchro into 6 into the can't say this card's name at all, but it's the non-Book of Moon synchro monster. It's going to activate the effect. It's going to send a spell or trap from our hand, so we're going to discard one of the Upstart Goblins here to then add Elzet. And now we're going to use Elzet, pitching another Upstart Goblin to summon itself out and get us access to the Rusia. This is where the deck really starts to shine, is that all of its like monsters all connect together. Rusia is technically the worst one to draw, however, it still gets you to where you need to beat a combo, and I'll show you all of those combos, so don't worry about it. But now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and synchro with the Elzet and the synchro monster into our Diabellstar, and use the Diabellstar's effect, which is now going to add back the one runic card that we had back to our hand. This is going to ensure that we have runic cards for our opponent's turn and any sort of disruptions we're going to have like that. Now we're going to use the Rusia to send the last Upstart Goblin from our hand to draw a card. Right here we drew into our 1 of Skill Drain, so we clearly outskilled our opponent. And this is going to be our end board. It's got the Diabell on it as well as the Rusia. The Rusia is just going to sit here as a body until your opponent's turn, because on your opponent's turn, you're going to use Woes to summon out the level 2 from your deck, the Elzet. When you do that, this Elzet here is going to trigger to add back to your hand, as well as you're going to synchro summon, resolving the effect of Woes to go into the Book of Moon synchro monster. So you're going to Book of Moon their field once, or Book of Eclipse I should say. It's going to set all of them face down. And then you're also going to have the effect of the Diabell to either summon out a like level 2 Zapper Shrimp and synchro into Chaos Angel, or you can actually summon just another one of the Book of Eclipse monsters, since it's not once per turn. So that's like the main one card combo in the deck. I'm going to show you what happens if you open just a little bit more engine, or if you even draw into some more engine now. So with Elzet, we're going to start off kind of the same way of just using the like White Forest cards to get us some advantage, and then the runic cards to get discards. So we're going to get us the Elzet, sending the Upstart Goblin, get Sylvie. Sylvie's going to get our Woe, and then we're going to use whatever runic card we have. Doesn't have to be tip. Summoning out Hugin. Hugin is now going to discard the Woe and add our Fountain, and Woe will reset herself. So we're kind of in the same situation that we were in the last combo. The only difference here is that we got our Elzet just a little bit early, which doesn't really matter. We're just putting the cards on the field right now. So we're going to synchro now. We're going to go right into the card I can't say again. We're going to use the effect to then send the Woes again to add Rusia. And we're doing this because we're not going to try to add back the runic tip in this situation. We're going to try to add back the Woes. So now we're going to synchro with the Elzet and the synchro monster into Diabell. Use Diabell to now add back the Woe. So we cycle through this card 3 times, and now we're going to just keep it in our hand to end with it. We're going to use the Rusia effect, special summoning itself, and then use the effect to send Upstart Goblin and draw. So at this point, you could have opened another runic spell, or you can even draw into one, like you do in this situation here. And I'm going to show you what happens if you do have another runic spell. We're going to activate Fountain, and then use the Destruction to summon. So we're going to summon out the Moonin, and then because we do have 2 runic spells in our graveyard, we're going to use the effect of Fountain. So we're going to put back and then draw 2 here. It doesn't really matter what we do draw into, but I'm just showing the example here that we have our hand filled up. And now we're going to synchro summon with the Rusia and the Moonin, and we're going to make Dawn Dragster. So here on this end board, you have the Diabell to special summon out Zapper Shrimp or the Book of Moon. So good disruption there. And then we also have Dawn Dragster, which is going to negate a spell or trap, so it's going to be a lot harder for our opponent to break our board. We have Fountain with any number of runic cards that we could have drawn into, and then we also have the Woes. Woes is going to be used to special summon either the Elzet, more than likely it'll summon the Elzet, and then you'll chain the effect of Sylvie or Rusia to special summon by putting back this Synchro monster into your extra deck, and then you can Synchro summon with those into the Book of Moon, and LZ will trigger to add back to your hand. So you're getting follow-up and like 3 Book of Eclipse effects, 2 Book of Eclipse effects, as well as a Spell Trap Negate and all the runic stuff. It's really, really hard to break this board. This is just one of the variations of the boards. There's a lot of different variations. I'm not going to show you what happens if you open kind of like the worst starter in the deck. So this is with just 1 Rusia and any runic card. It is going to be much worse. So in this variation, you can actually start off in the draw phase with your runic card or whatever you're wanting to do to summon Hugin. Use that Hugin to discard a card and then add Fountain. This is going to play around Droll a little bit. Since we're not trying to get value off of our woes discarding, it's better that we just play around as many cards as possible. Now we're going to summon Rusia, use Rusia, sending the Upstart Goblin to get us a draw. We drew into a blank. Pretty standard thing to draw into. Either like a non-engine card or a card that's going to draw again. Now we're going to Synchro Summon into the level 6 Synchro Monster. Use the effect to send a card from hand. It can be the Upstart Goblin, any spell, doesn't really matter. That's going to grab you LZ. LZ's now going to Special Summon itself by sending the Upstart Goblin, and LZ will add a Sylvie for next turn. Now you can Synchro Summon into your Diabell. Use your Diabell to then add back your runic card. And now you have a plentiful amount of disruptions here. You still have the Fountain with any sort of runic card you would have started with, so Flashing Fire, Freezing Curses, all of those would be really good right here. If you sent any runic cards off of your LZ and your Rusia, those also compound to be more draws during your opponent's turn, so that's really good. And then you have the Diabell effect for when your opponent summons or activates a card or effect, you can special summon. And then you can Book of Eclipse their field, or you can summon Zapper Shrimp to pop a Spell Trap, and then Synchro Summon in the Chaos Angel. So a lot of disruptions, even with the worst starter in your deck. Now, there are a few different things that you can look at. There's some new tech choices that are coming into this format that I've been made aware of. One of them being Foolish Burial Goods. So I'll show you that combo if you draw that card. So Foolish Burial Goods is a card that can be either non-engine or engine, depending on how you want to look at it. This card can be used to send either Metal Foes Fusion, which gets you a draw, the same thing as Upstart Goblin basically, or in very niche situations, like when you're able to full combo, this card actually becomes a much better like inboard piece or a card to draw into. But we're going to save that until the combo. We're going to start off with normal summoning the Sylvie. Sylvie's effect is going to grab Woes, and then we're going to use our runic card, doesn't have to be Tip, once again, to summon any runic monster. And then we're going to summon Hugin. You can discard the Woes, which is going to add the Fountain, and then we can use Woes to reset itself. Now we're going to Synchro Summon into the Synchro 6. Use the effect, discarding the Upstart Goblin to add LZ. Now we're going to use LZ to send the last Upstart Goblin in our hand. It's going to summon itself and then add Rusia. We've got here the exact same point in the other combo. Here's where it's going to differ a little bit. We're going to use that Foolish Burial Goods. We're actually going to send our 1 of Skill Drain from the deck to the graveyard. Because of how this deck works and functions, you're actually going to be able to get that Skill Drain right back. We're going to Synchro Summon in the Diabell and add Skill Drain back to our hand. I don't really play anymore. I just show you that this is your inboard. This is effectively 2 Book of Eclipses. It plays under Nibiru because you're only on 4 summons, and then you have Skill Drain as well, so it really doesn't matter. You're protected the entire time. Sorry, you are on 5 summons now, but if they nib you, then you have the ability to chain this effect, summon whatever you want to do, as well as summoning out the Sylvie next, and then you can special the Rusia from your hand. But anyways, it gives you like a plentiful amount of disruptions, as well as searching the Skill Drain in this combo. Last thing I'm going to show you is how this deck actually plays around Nibiru. A lot of people are starting to think that Nibiru counters this deck really hard, but there's one card that you can play that I know a lot of people are playing that counters Nibiru perfectly. So in this example, we have the Sylvie, a runic card, and 3 Upstart Goblins. It can be any of the starters except for Rusia. Rusia is a little bit weak into Nib, but you do get everything you need to end on a 4-board, so it's still fine. We're going to start off with normal summon Sylvie, use Sylvie to add Woes of the White Forest, and then we're going to use our runic card to special summon Hugin. Hugin effect is going to discard the Woes, and we're going to add Fountain. And then we can use Woes to reset itself on the field. We're going to Synchro Summon into the 6, and use the 6 effect to now add by sending the Upstart Goblin. We're going to add LZ, and then special summon LZ by sending another Upstart Goblin. LZ's going to add the Rusia at this point, and we're going to Synchro Summon into Diabell. This is summon 5 here, so no matter what happens, we are still getting our runic card back to our hand, so we're going to have Fountain and a runic card guaranteed. From this point, we're going to special summon Rusia, and this is where if your opponent has Nibiru, they're going to activate it. They're going to try to keep you off of this Rusia effect to draw. So they're going to Nibiru us here. We're going to get the token. You're just going to let it happen, and here's how you play through it from here. You're not going to activate the effect of Rusia. You're going to put the Diabell back in the extra deck. You're going to summon itself out. Now you're going to use this effect and send the Woes to draw, actually. It's going to help you get more runic cards in your hand. Like in this example, we got to Fountain, or to Slumber, and we could even use Fountain with that Slumber this turn if we were wanting to get more draws. Now we're going to use the other effect of Sylvie to put back, and special summon itself out. So we have 2 level 4s at this point. We're not locked in anything. We're going to go ahead and overlay into Bagooska. It's going to apply a Floodgate effect to the field. It's going to make sure that Nibiru doesn't apply any pressure to us. And then we guaranteed have Fountain plus a Runic card with our Bagooska on the field through a hand trap. This is honestly like one of the strongest boards you can end on into like a lot of decks in the format, including Tenpai. Tenpai has a really big problem with outing Bagooska, especially knowing that they can't top deck Imperm because they do still have this Nibiru on the field. That's all the combos I was going to show you guys. I do have a deck list to show you guys. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for deck lists for the previous decks. I went ahead and put all of the deck lists for the previous videos on my Yubel spreadsheet. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and check out my channel. That is there for purchase. You can get that. It shows all the Yubel combos as well as having the deck list for the other decks there. This deck, I'm just going to go ahead and show you right now. So in this deck, we play 3 Sylvie, 3 Elzette, 2 Rusia, 1 Woes, 1 Skill Drain, 1 Pot of Desires, 3 Upstart Goblin, 2 Foolish Burial Goods, 1 Metal Foes Fusion, 3 Evenly Matched, 1 Terraforming, 1 Chicken Game, 2 Fountains, 3 Freezing Curses, 3 Destruction, 3 Flashing Fire, 3 Slumber, 3 Tip, and 1 Smiting Storm. That rounds off the main deck 40 cards, and then for your extra deck, you have 3 Hugins, 1 Moonin, 1 Gary, Bagooska, Hill Knight, Dawn Dragster, the Silvera, Diabel, the guy I can't say, the Chaos Angel, Qingying, Coral Dragon, and then finally the Zapper Shrimp. So this is the deck list. I'm not going to leave a download link in the description, or maybe I will. You guys can check to see if I actually put it there or not. But I know a lot of you guys have been asking for deck lists, so this is here. Besides that, I think I covered everything. If you guys wouldn't mind liking, commenting, and subscribing, I do really appreciate it. And besides that, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.